Hi, Vlogger Babes. Happy Thursday. I'm super excited to talk about this topic tonight just because it's been something I've been really focusing on these past few months and it seems to have been working, so that's a good thing. But I really just wanted to talk about focusing on engagement and connecting with your followers for real. It's super, super important to obviously engage with your followers and really, really connect with them. But putting a huge focus on that is what's going to start to change the game. So I'm going to talk about kind of 4 different points. The first one's just like a little one. But I basically wanted to talk about first is to stop spending so much time looking at your numbers. Obviously, you need to pay attention to numbers in business. So I'm not saying just like forego looking at them ever, but more the numbers of your followers. People sit and overthink and live in trying to grow their following to so much to the point where I think it holds them back. I used to be in that same boat. I think a lot of people can speak to that, but focusing so much on your numbers is what I think is really, really killing the game with social media. Social media in general is a big judging game. Like, let's be honest, you're sitting scrolling all day looking at everyone else's posts, looking at everyone else's life, seeing what people are doing, seeing what brands they're working with, and it can be kind of exhausting. And you end up in this circle of judging if your work is worthy of their work and so on and so forth. And obviously we've spoke to that before, but huge waste of time. But in that, I think a lot of people get really stressed out in growing their following. You look at other people's following that maybe like someone got reposted. One of my girlfriends got reposted twice by huge brands today, and she's grown like thousands of followers in like a day. That's amazing. I can't sit here and be bummed out that my following isn't growing as quickly as hers because she was handed an opportunity or got an opportunity or was blessed by the gods of reposting and was able to grow that quickly. And so instead of sitting here wallowing about why I haven't grown, I've been working on my own content that I know is going to boost my own engagement and my own connection. So really need to get out of the habit of looking at other people's growing and their following count growing up or yours going down or whatever it is. It's constantly changing, just like the IG algorithm is constantly changing. Your following is constantly changing. Sometimes I'm up like 50 followers. Sometimes I'm down like 15 followers. It's exhausting. And you can either continue to look at it every single day and be down about it, or you can look at it every single day and see what people are connecting with and engaging with to boost that following even more. So that's kind of what brings me on to like my first real point of all this is focusing on engaging with the people already engaging with you. So we've spoke about this a little bit before, but I really just wanted to go a little bit more into detail that there's a ton of people already looking at your blog. There's a ton of people already commenting. Even if that ton of people is 30 people or 50 people or thousands of people, you really need to understand that the people that are there to see what you're posting. And if they're engaging with you, you need to engage back. I think I see so many unanswered questions or unanswered comments all the time as I'm scrolling through or I'm commenting myself on somebody's other pictures. And it's kind of a bummer because I feel like all we do all day is worry about the people that are engaging with our pictures or the people that are, commenting or liking or seeing our pictures, but if we don't actually take the time to like connect with them, I think we're missing a huge portion of what social media is so great about. I love that you can like comments. Obviously, that's a great thing. I don't think like we should stop doing that, but I think taking it a step further and actually connecting with them, even if it's like, oh my God, I love that skirt. You can be like, oh my God, I love the skirt too. It's so comfy, or I love the colors, or it's perfect for spring, whatever it is. Just take it a little step further to show them that you're really actually engaging with what they're doing. Hi, Christine. I miss you. And really, really taking that time to really, really connect with them on a relationship. And another way to take that even a step deeper is I always go and engage with the people that have engaged with my pictures. I, comment on their pictures, give their pictures some love. And then one thing that I've tried to start doing is actually started looking at the people commenting on their pictures. Usually you can find likes, like things that are similar between the both of you. And so taking that time to start engaging with the other people that are commenting on the people already engaging with you is really gonna start forming those like deeper connections and new relationships across the board. And those might be people or followers or accounts that you would have never found just because you didn't take the time to like dig a little bit deeper and really take the time to focus harder on the people that are already focusing on your page. So focus on engaging with the people that are already engaging with you. They're there, even if it's only 10 people, really focus on connecting with those 10 people and doing whatever you can to make the lasting relationship so they keep coming back. My second point is IG stories. I have stressed this so many times and I'm literally not going to stop stressing this. IG stories are so important. I've gotten huge into them and I think it's shown a really deep connection and it's really grown my following. Maybe not even the numbers on my page as much as just my story following. People have started really liking what I'm posting or loving the random polls I'm doing or seeing the food I'm eating. Like people really like that. And it sounds so weird, but IG stories is a really scary thing. I get it. People, I know I don't love to see my face every morning. I think I retook one like 3 times this morning, to be totally honest, because I had bags under my eyes and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna scare people when they're looking at it. But I got it done and I posted it and I really connected with people and told them about my life, about my day, and kind of what direction I was moving for the day and what I wanted to accomplish. And that's something that I think a lot of people can connect with, as weird or silly as that sounds. So IG stories, again, I think it's the easiest way to make real connections. It's you're face-to-face, you're one-on-one, instead of like just doing a really curated post, which I think people do love curated posts and they love like a perfect feed, but I think it's just getting overdone. Like everyone can take a really good picture and that sounds super judgy. I mean, it's difficult to take a good picture and edit it, I'll be honest, but there's every tool out there that can is accessible to every single person now. So just having that perfect picture isn't everything you need to do now. I think you really need to take it a step further. And people think they know you through your social media. And it's like when we meet with a bunch of our blogger girlfriends, sometimes I won't know their names, but I'll know their IG handles. And it's so sad, I'll be honest. But you feel like you still know who they are. You know their life. You've seen their pictures. You know the place they traveled 2 weeks ago. But if you take it a step further and do that one-on-one connection through IG stories, face to face, I think that's what people can dive even deeper into and really get a feel for who you are, what your personality is, what your voice sounds like, the quirky things you do on a daily basis, just everything like that. I think people are really missing that connection, and that is what social media is supposed to be, is connecting. And so I think a way to get away from focusing so much on your follower counts or so much on who's looking at you or your perfect feed is to take a step and a dive into doing IG stories. And that way you can actually gain real connections, real friendships, real relationships, and really do one-on-one FaceTime with people. And one of my favorite things that I kind of talked about through that, oh my God, I'm sorry you guys, I have like hair, but is polls. I've become really obsessed with polls. I think I read somewhere like a few months ago that supposedly it can like boost you in IG algorithm. I have no idea if that's true or not, so please don't take my word for that. But that's actually what got me into polls, and now I just love them. And I do them probably at least every day or every other day on the most random things. Like sometimes it's the movies I've seen to see if people have seen them, or I saw one movie that was so weird and I wanted to know if other people thought it was weird or if I was just crazy. I have a constant battle with choosing between pasta and pizza. Things could be worse. And I actually did a poll on that, and it was so funny to see how many people were the same way or what they had to do. I had people DMing me about what their choices, and some were like, I could never choose. So I think really just using the polls to make it more fun. I think it can also be used towards business. I know a lot of bloggers ask like if they want, between what content they like, if you like my travel content or my fashion content or my food content or my positivity content, whatever it is, you can really start to gauge what people are looking at. And that's obviously the biggest key to growing your following is knowing what your followers are actually connecting with. And so you could be posting all of these travel posts, and if they really don't like them, or if they're going to a different blogger for that travel post, maybe don't totally stop doing it, but maybe stop putting so much focus into it and really use that focus on something that they're actually engaging with and actually connecting with, because there are millions of us out there and you can't do everything all the time, and you can't have everyone love everything you're doing over everyone else. So really knowing what your followers are engaging with is going to help you grow. And I think doing that through IG stories is, again, the easiest way to connect with people. And polls is super fun. It's really easy for people to click on, and if it does boost your algorithm, I guess, yay, that's a bonus as well. But another thing with stories, I know we're still on IG stories, but is a lot of brands are moving towards working with bloggers just through stories now. So we just created a calculator on My Haute Society. I think it was last week or the week before, where you can kind of like off of your average views, you can figure out how much you could charge if a brand wanted to just work with you through stories, which I think is great. I think brands notice that bloggers and influencers are really connecting with people through stories more so than just a curated perfect image and a funny little caption. You're able to really give your hard and honest truth, and see them moving with the product, see how you like it. Maybe it's makeup and you're putting on the makeup in the story, whatever it is. I think brands are noticing that there's a huge connection and a huge relationship builder for brands to use bloggers with their followers through IG stories. So if you're not using IG stories, I think you're going to kick yourself in the butt a year from now if you don't get into it, because I really do think it's this growing thing. Just like we talk about how video is a huge thing in 2018, IG stories is the easiest way to do videos if you don't want to do YouTube. Love you. Bye. So I would really focus on starting to use your stories now and really start growing that following on your stories, because then you can start to use brands if they don't want to pay $200 or $300 for like a blog post and an IG post. You can charge them $30 or $50 or whatever it is for an IG story and still be able to work with them, still be able to start creating a relationship with that brand where maybe they want to pay you for a post later down the road, and you're still showing your followers that you have an influence and you're working with brands. So monetizing on those stories is becoming a huge thing, and if you don't get into them, you're not going to have anything to show for when a brand reaches out to you and wants to use your stories, because you won't have a connection with your followers. And I think that's a huge lacking period, and it's so easy. So my last point, I swear I'm wrapping up, is looking at what drives the most traffic and focusing on that. So I kind of spoke about that with the IG stories, where using the polls, you can figure out what people like, what people don't like. But obviously you can't always focus on numbers, but I think focusing on where your highest traffic is a totally different aspect. It's made really easy nowadays with our blogs, with all the statistics they give us, like through either Google Analytics or just your WordPress, whatever it is. And then IG makes it really easy if you have a business account, which I highly recommend you get a business account. It looks way more professional, but that's another story. But if you have a business account, you can see all the statistics on what images have the most likes, what images have the highest engagement, how many, like what image was saved the most. Just so many things you can see. If you had like a website link that you called out in that image, you can see how many people went to the website link from that image caption. So I think there's just a ton of great statistics and a ton of things that are sitting right at our fingertips that if you start really honing in on some of that stuff, I think you're going to start to notice really what people are paying attention to on your page and really what people are connecting with. And from that, I think you'll be able to really figure out what you need to hone in on. And when you hone in on that, that's when your following is going to grow. Again, there's so many of us all trying to do so much of the same thing. And until you realize what's making you stand apart from everyone else, I think it's going to be really hard to grow your following, because the algorithm constantly changes. There's constantly new people going on, and it can be really hard to just constantly be on Instagram. So focusing on what people are like liking from your page and where your traffic lies, whether it's on your blog post or whether it's just on your Instagram images, is really going to help with knowing what you need to focus on and how you can grow your following, because you'll figure out what people are actually liking from what you're putting out. So the 3 things to do: focus on engagement with people already engaging with you, super important. IG stories, I don't care if you dislike your face in the morning, if you think you have nothing interesting to do, no one's lives are that interesting. So maybe what you're doing is a little bit interesting to the next person sitting in a desk job or sitting at home as a stay-at-home mom, whatever it is. IG stories, you need to connect and use polls. Doesn't have to be a serious thing. Ask about pasta and pizza or tacos and tequila. That doesn't really make sense because it's always tequila, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. And then the last one is look at what drives the most traffic and really, really focus in on that. I think that's going to help change the game of your following, and please stop worrying so much about your following. Obviously I get in ruts too, and there's times I'm like, oh my God, I wish that was me, or oh my God, why did I lose 30 followers last night? But I think that all goes into maybe look at what you posted, and maybe people weren't connecting with that, and you can kind of just dive deeper into that, but stop stressing so much about it, because the more you stress, the more you're going to lack creativity, and then obviously you're not going to put out as many good images or feel as connected, or you'll get burnt out, whatever it is, and none of that is good. So signing off. This will be on for the next 24 hours, as well as our website, and then tomorrow I'm going to have a member exclusive post, so on Friday, that our members can kind of look at, where I dove a little bit deeper into all this just to help explain it. So have a good Thursday, guys. Bye.